those of you who are here tonight as finalists in these Ethnic Business Awards, it is a great thing that you are here. You are our automatic bridge to the world, and so much that we do in commerce, in export, in import, in trade and investment, and what is now the worldwide economy transacted digitally. You form such natural, wonderful, diverse, fluent, culturally sensitive human bridges to the rest of the world that you are for us an enormous national strength and one to be celebrated.
As Australians, we pride ourselves on our ethnic diversity, our innovation, our entrepreneurship, and of course, excellence. And it's these very qualities that are celebrated tonight through the Ethnic Business Awards.
And I thank Don Argus and the National Australia Bank for supporting them, for supporting these awards, because it means that our country is keeping our values in sight. The migration program has changed Australia. Well, of course it has, inexorably, forever. That is, having been bequeathed this enormous continent, so long in the trust of our Indigenous people, that we have an opportunity, probably second to none in the world, and that a small monoculture, if it could hang on to it, could not adequately develop it. We're really saying we're taking the chance to highlight the tremendous achievements and efforts of some Australians who've come to this country, have not started with the natural advantage of knowing it, and have done things that are special, which we can all identify with and which we can all celebrate. And that's really, I think, what the Ethnic Business Awards are about.
Diversity creates unity. That unity, born of diversity, creates opportunity. Multiculturalism is Australia's competitive advantage in the global marketplace.
The Ethnic Business Awards, coming of age tonight, have long been a feature of our splendid multicultural landscape. They pay tribute to the extraordinary achievement and contribution of people born on shores other than our own. They are a yearly reminder of our rich diversity, of how privileged we are to enjoy a broad palette of colours, tastes, accents and dreams.
Possible to think of the economic growth of Australia over the last 30 or 40 years without thinking of the massive contribution that have been made by the group loosely called Ethnic Australians to the development of our country.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage, Tracy Spicer.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow, looking at that highlights package, there have certainly been some big hitters over the 23-year history of these awards. Some familiar faces there, as well as an idea of the diversity of finalists we've seen over all these years. And it all started with one man's vision. It's now my great pleasure to introduce to you a man who's not only a founding partner of these awards, but who continues to be a major sponsor as well. His office, his family, and a whole dedicated team work the year round to bring us this evening. Himself an immigrant from Lebanon, he's a business achiever in his own right, a published author whose book, In Someone Else's Shoes, has become a virtual user's guide to multiculturalism in the areas of cross-cultural communication, trade and advertising in Australia. Please give a very warm welcome to the stage to Mr. Joseph Asaf.
Thank you, Tracy. the Honourable Kate Lundy, Honourable Christopher Pine, it is my great pleasure to be here this evening to welcome you all to the 23rd Ethnic Business Presentation Dinner. First of all, I would like to thank all the sponsors, and in particular, our founding partner, the National Australia Bank, for its continuous support since the inception of these awards. The National have been a great partner and a stalwart supporter. A special thanks to our esteemed judges for the wonderful work they have been doing. And allow me here to make a particular mention of the founding judge, Gala, who has walked this journey with me for all these 23 years. In addition to her contribution to the judging process, Carla has added an extra touch of elegance to this event through the beautiful dresses she has designed and provided. I also wish to thank all our media partners. I welcome the BRW magazine to our family of media sponsors. And I would also like to acknowledge the contribution of the founding media partner, SBS, for broadcasting these awards since their inception. Yes, as Tracy said, I'm an immigrant. I guess I'm even vaguely of Middle Eastern appearance, whatever that means. I have a bit of an accent. I enjoy some interesting food. I'm a typical of a huge number of fellow Australians. Today, almost 30% of all businesses in Australia are owned and operated by people who were born outside the country. That group is itself made up of people from more than 100 nations. The 700 nominations we received this year came from all the states and territories, and they originated from 50 countries, including Australia, which is now eligible after last year's inauguration of the Indigenous in Business category. The 700 nominees represent a diversity of religions, races, and cultural background. They speak dozens of languages. For many of them, English is a work in progress. When they say, "G'day, mate," they are making an effort. But it is an effort that they are proud and happy to make. Refugees, skilled migrants, business migrants, those being reunited with family members, it doesn't matter. They are all here to become a part of the great Australian story, to share the fruits of cultural diversity, which these awards celebrate. And they are here to add their own individual color to the rainbow, their own note to the harmony in business and in all aspects of life. Like the song says, we are one, but we are many. And that is a huge advantage, because with diversity comes the opportunity for both social and economic harmony. Immigrants bring to their new home their own market requirements, their own needs, and their own ability to service those needs. They share with all of us the bounty which is generated by that circle of supply and demand. And the circle widens like a stone thrown into a still pool. Quite often, migrants will begin by producing things to satisfy their own taste and needs. Then they start to market their products to the community at large. Often, they will end up exporting them to their countries of origin and then to other parts of the world. In doing so, they create Australian jobs and generate Australian profits. In this way, cultural diversity confers social and economic dividends. It has been Australia's single most important catalyst for innovation and creativity in social, artistic, and economic development. It is what makes this nation a melting pot of ideas, hopes, and aspiration. Our celebration of this diversity was incomplete without the original culture of the land, the culture of the first Australians. So, as I said earlier, last year we introduced an award to recognize the Indigenous in business. This award has completed another circle: social, economic, and cultural. I'm proud to say that it has already been a huge success, and I firmly believe that it has succeeded because it is an inclusive award. It is an integral part of the weave and weft of what we are doing here. It is another celebration of being Australian, of striving, achieving, contributing, mentoring, and participating. Indigenous and migrants, refugees and business migrants, early settlers and new settlers, blacks and whites, men and women, English speakers and non-English speakers, people of Middle Eastern appearance and people of European appearance, people of all faith and creeds and political persuasions. They all share the roads, all pay taxes, all support each other's networks, and all call Australia home. You will meet many role models here tonight in every category. You will hear many wonderful and inspiring stories, and I'm proud that finally they tell a fully comprehensive tale of endeavor and success. A tale that celebrates each and every one of us as equals in life and in business. Enjoy your evening. Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage Senator the Honourable Kate Lundy.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph Asaf, Chairman of the Ethnic Business Awards, parliamentary colleagues, in particular Christopher Pyne representing the Leader of the Opposition, our state and federal members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin also by acknowledging and paying my respects to the traditional owners on the land that we gathered on tonight, the Gadigal people. And I'd also like to thank them for their continuing contributions to the Sydney community. I'm honoured to be here today representing the Prime Minister, the Honourable Julia Gillard MP. She sends her apologies and has asked that I read a message from her. It is with great pleasure that I send my best wishes to everyone attending the gala presentation dinner of the Ethnic Business Awards tonight. Since 1988, these awards have recognised the business success stories of people from diverse backgrounds and have provided an opportunity to promote an appreciation of the contribution of overseas-born Australians and their contribution to our community. Australia has benefited from the rich cultural traditions and enterprising spirit of people who've migrated from all over the world and who've sought haven here. And I welcome the contribution you've all made to our strong and vibrant nation and its economy. These awards also recognise the contribution of thousands of Indigenous Australians currently running their own businesses through the introduction of the Indigenous in Business Award. Indigenous business owners across a range of sectors are providing the dignity and benefits of work to many Australians, and I thank them for their hard work and dedication to their local communities. I congratulate the winners of tonight's awards and those who have been named as finalists. I once again send my best wishes to all attending the gala presentation tonight and hope it is both enjoyable and memorable. Julia Gillard, Prime Minister of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel a great privilege having been invited to speak at this 23rd Annual Ethnic Business Awards. Since last year's ceremony in Perth, the government launched Australia's new multicultural policy. It reaffirms our unwavering commitment to multiculturalism and to the benefits of diversity. Tonight is very much about recognising and celebrating the contribution that a single industrious soul can make to their community and to their country through their business leadership and acumen. And in that spirit, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the extraordinary work of one man, our host and the founder of these awards, Joseph Asaf. From these humble beginnings, Joseph, amongst other achievements, has built this event over 23 years. His determination has created the longest-running business awards in Australia, awards that have been broadcast annually for more than 2 decades, thanks to SBS. Joseph has not just created an event, he's driven a shift in Australian culture to recognise the benefits of immigration and the contribution of migrants in our business world. Tonight, we again celebrate the inspirational business achievements of those born overseas. And we take time this evening to celebrate the business achievements of Indigenous Australians. The 2011 Ethnic Business Awards include a former refugee, it's in the group of finalists, who've developed a life-saving heart device, an entrepreneurial migrant whose culinary instincts drove him to open the Australian palate to sushi, migrants who've fled war-torn regions, and a member of the stolen generation. Our cultural diversity and our multilingual workforce give Australia a distinct competitive advantage in the global economy, and it's one of the many ways that Australia's immigration program has shaped our direction as a nation. It has meant our distant shores no longer separate us from the rest of the world. Our ties to all nations are cemented by the bond of family and the bond of culture. Economies and societies are not static. They rely on progress and renewal, and they're driven and shaped by the ideas and contribution of women and men. Our economy is one in transition, and as the focus of activity shifts towards technology and the service sectors, will increasingly rely on the dynamism of the Australian workforce. Migration has brought a broad array of skills and knowledge to this nation, and the application of which has led to all Australians enjoying a better standard of living. However, as these awards acknowledge, it is the connections and the innovations that diversity has fostered which will see us a prosperous Australia in the 21st century. So to quote our host, diversity has been Australia's single most important catalyst for innovation and creativity in its social, artistic and economic development. And so it will continue to be into our future. Congratulations to all the finalists. I'm sure you're having a very big night. And thank you to the judging panel and to everybody involved in the 23rd Annual Ethnic Business Awards. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for those heartfelt words, Senator Kate Lundy. And once again, Joseph Asaf, thank you for your stirring speech. You never fail to inspire. Ladies and gentlemen, remember that great entertainment I promised you? Some of it is coming up. Appropriately, we have a truly multicultural lineup tonight. And to get us off to a fabulous start, I'd like you to welcome someone we have literally just managed to snaffle up before he performs at the Sydney Opera House in 2 days' time. We are so lucky to have him. He is one of Croatia's top performers. Please welcome Oliver Dragojevic.
Pada noć, puna srednje, nema te tu kraj mene, a trebam te kao pjesni svoju bol. Na srcu mi studen zime, na usnama tvoje ime i samo čekam dan da dođeš mi. A kad mi dođeš ti i osmijeh vratiš mi, sva patnja i bol života moj će proć u noćima bez sna. Ja tebe dozivam da dođeš mi ti i kao svi počnemo mi mirno živjeti. Moj dan nema kraja, a noću tebe sanjam i samo čekam dan da dođeš mi. A kad mi dođeš ti i osmijeh vratiš mi, sva patnja i bol života moj će proć u noćima bez sna. Ja tebe dozivam da dođeš mi ti i kao svi počnemo mi mirno živjeti. A kad mi dođeš ti i osmijeh vratiš mi, sva patnja i bol života moj će proć u noćima bez sna. Ja tebe dozivam da dođeš mi ti i kao počnemo mi mirno živjeti.
And what a fabulous introduction to the nominees in the Indigenous section of the awards tonight. Sometimes I think that Tom Garricky and his team at Worldwide Pictures, they put this whole thing together, must have one of the best gigs in the country. They get to travel around and chat to all the finalists and hear their stories. Tom, once again this year, has put together some incredible footage so we can get to know each of the finalists before they come up to receive their certificates in recognition of their achievements. We don't know who the winners are. We don't know that yet, which is so exciting. And there's absolutely no significance in the order in which we meet them now. It's entirely random, so don't take that into account if you're putting bets on or anything. Let's take a look at our finalists in the award for Excellence in Indigenous Business. First up, Message Stick Communications.
My name's Michael McLeod. I'm a Narrandjeri man from South Australia. My business is called Message Stick Communications and I'm the CEO. My business is a niche communication service provider. We provide corporate grade teleconferencing to Australia's top corporates and any government agency that chooses to use us. By the time I was 18 months of age, I'm the youngest of 6 siblings. We all got taken away from our family. I actually grew up in Statewood homes and did my HSC. But I have to preface all that by saying at a very young age, I got very much involved with drugs and alcohol. My first shot of heroin at the age of 10, my first drink around about 8, 9. So that by the time I hit about 25, I actually ended up homeless, derelict in the streets of Sydney, where I'm one of the very lucky ones. I got the opportunity to get clean and sober. I just identified quite simply, I did not want to stay on welfare. I wanted to do something for myself. I wanted to be financially independent. I had to live somehow. I rejected welfare. What am I going to do? So it was, I'll start my own little business. So I established Koori World Online, which is, I've been told, is Australia's first Indigenous internet service provider. But I needed to look at a bigger picture when it came to what it was my vision, my dream of what I wanted to try and achieve. I eventually met a corporate warrior such, Dougal Russell, and that's where Message Stick Communications was born from. We wanted to just prove an Aboriginal person could own and manage a business such as this and engage with the corporate sector just to do pure business. Within the first 4 years, suddenly we had 10 corporate customers on board. That in itself was quite extraordinary from my perspective, because suddenly corporates were crying out to do something outside of philanthropy or charity. They actually wanted to get engaged with Indigenous business owners. I've noticed there's a growth within my business, especially since the GFC. Teleconferencing is a means by which they can actually continue meetings globally without having to the expense of travelling. We've got approximately about 80 of Australia's top corporates on board as our customers. We are actually a small business, so all of our attention is focused on providing the best service that you possibly can get. I just see steady growth for Message Stick over the next few years, probably employing more people, and my hope is it's Indigenous people, and managing our relationships with the our corporate customers, and ensuring that they get the best service that they can. I will say to any Aboriginal person who wants to have a go, have a go. If I can do it from where I've come from and my background, I personally believe it's possible for anybody to rise up to the challenge of making their dreams a reality.
Michael McLeod, after life showed him all that, I mean the horror of all that, he wanted to take responsibility for himself and his future. And boy, he's certainly done that. Message Stick now operates as what he calls a nimble niche player in a global industry sector that's dominated by very large players. Along the way, Michael's also promoted the growth of various Indigenous chambers of commerce throughout the country and helped to create the Indigenous Business Council of Australia. From New South Wales, please welcome Michael McLeod.